For years, Pi Network has stood on the edge of skepticism. Many in the crypto space dismissed it as just another mobile app promising the allure of digital wealth with minimal effort. To critics, it seemed like a passive project with no tangible utility, just another mining experiment destined to fizzle out like so many before it. But as we move further into 2025, something remarkable is becoming clear. Pi Network isn't just surviving the noise, it's quietly rewriting the rules. And at the heart of this evolution lies a concept that has taken root organically among its global community, the Global Consensus Value, or GCV. Unlike speculative tokens that rely on hype-driven market listings or centralized exchange pumps, Pi is carving its own path. What makes this even more compelling is that the network's growing momentum isn't being fueled by developers, influencers, or corporate partnerships. Instead, it's being built by ordinary people, pioneers, as they call themselves, who've come together to create an alternative financial model that values participation, transparency, and real-world usability. The emergence of GCV has been a transformative force in this process. Rather than letting open market speculation define Pi's worth prematurely, users began to agree upon a shared standard value. 1 Pi equals 314,159 in local fiat currency. This number, while seemingly arbitrary to outsiders, holds symbolic and mathematical significance to the Pi community. But more importantly, it has become a practical benchmark. Across countries and cultures, users have voluntarily adopted GCV as a pricing model for real transactions. It's not just an idealistic goal, it's happening, right now, in marketplaces, communities, and barter exchanges around the world. This is what separates Pi from countless blockchain projects that promised decentralization but ended up being run like traditional businesses. Pi Network's value wasn't dictated by its core team, nor was it injected by institutional investors. It rose organically from a decentralized consensus. That alone is a revolutionary accomplishment in the crypto world, where decentralization is often more branding than reality. On the ground, the application of GCV has been inspiring. In Nigeria, users have exchanged Pi for motorbikes and electronics. In the Philippines, Pi is being used to purchase rice, groceries, and even services like haircuts and home repairs. In India, entire communities are organizing Pi-based events and mini-economies around the idea of GCV. And what ties all of these efforts together is documentation. Pioneers aren't just making these transactions, they're recording them through videos, receipts, testimonials, and photos. This grassroots proof-of-value strategy has created a living, breathing archive of evidence that Pi is being used as a currency, not a speculative token. It's this very transparency that gives Pi an edge over many other digital currencies. Where other coins depend on price charts, exchange listings, and influencer hype to validate their worth, Pi is being validated by its users. They are its market, its promoters, and its validators, all rolled into one. That creates a sense of ownership and trust that's difficult to manufacture from the top down. People trust GCV not because someone told them to, but because they've seen it in action and participated in it themselves. Skeptics have long questioned whether a digital currency could ever derive meaningful value without being traded on major exchanges. Pi Network is proving that it can. By choosing to delay Open Mainnet access and market listing, Pi has resisted premature commodification. Instead of being exposed to pump-and-dump schemes, the currency has matured within a protected ecosystem where its value is determined by actual usage. And the results speak for themselves. There are, of course, challenges. The GCV model has faced resistance from factions within the community who believe in a free market approach. There have been efforts to trade Pi at drastically lower or higher values, often for personal gain. These instances test the community's resolve, but over time, a pattern has emerged. The majority of committed users continue to uphold the GCV standard, reinforcing its legitimacy through repeated, high-value transactions. It's not a perfect system, but it is a democratic one. And in the world of digital currencies, that's rare. The community's power was made even clearer during a recent event that shook the broader Pi ecosystem, the coordinated withdrawal of over 86 million Pi coins from the OKX exchange. This wasn't just a protest or a reaction, it was a conscious decision by the community to reclaim control over the currency's distribution and direction. It sent a powerful message: Pi belongs to its users, not to outside speculators. In doing so, pioneers removed a massive supply of Pi from a public exchange, tightening the available circulation and making it clear that the network's priorities are aligned with long-term sustainability, not short-term profits. This community action was not only strategic but symbolic. It reflected a deep understanding of supply dynamics. When supply is restricted and demand continues to grow, especially within a framework like GCV, the result is increasing scarcity, which can ultimately lead to value appreciation. But more importantly, it showed that the Pi community is willing to act collectively to protect its economy. In a space often defined by greed and individualism, that kind of unity is both rare and revolutionary. Looking ahead, the Pi ecosystem continues to evolve. New tools, like Pi App Studio, are empowering developers to build utilities that plug into the network seamlessly. Entrepreneurs are creating decentralized applications, dApps, that use Pi as their native currency. Educational platforms, gaming hubs, service directories, and digital marketplaces are being built from the ground up. These aren't pipe dreams, they're working prototypes, some of which are already serving users daily. And all of them operate under the economic principles established by the community through GCV. The potential here is massive. If this model continues to grow and scale, it could serve as a blueprint for other crypto projects that have struggled to define real-world use cases. Pi may have started as an experiment in mobile-based mining, but it has evolved into something far greater, a decentralized economy shaped not by market speculation, but by participation, proof, and shared values. At its core, GCV is more than just a pricing model. It is a collective agreement. A symbol of belief. A statement that value doesn't need to come from Wall Street, venture capital, or centralized exchanges. It can come from people, millions of them, who decide together that something is worth believing in. This is why Pi Network is no longer just a project. It's a movement. A social and financial experiment that is succeeding where many others have failed, not by being the fastest or flashiest, but by being the most grounded. The most human. And perhaps, the most real. The path ahead isn't without obstacles. Regulation, scalability, and integration into the broader financial system all remain to be addressed. But if the last few years have shown anything, it's that the Pi community has the resilience, vision, and cohesion to navigate what's next. This is more than a currency. It's a story still being written, by millions of pioneers who believe the future of money can be different. And based on what's already happening, they just might be right.